Dividing a polynomial by a polynomial. So this question, part one, asks us to find the quotient and the remainder of this expression divided by that expression. All right, part two says hence. Hence means you have to use the answer from part one to figure out the answer for part two. Factorize completely. So at the end, there's some quadratics you have to factorize. So you have to make sure if it can be factorized or not. If it can be factorized, you factorize it. If it cannot, you leave it as is. So we have to verify because this question specifically states completely, factorize completely. So let's start one time. So I'm going to set up my long division. We have 2x squared plus x minus 3. All right. And we have this expression inside here, 4x to the power 4 minus 8x cubed minus 17x squared plus 12x plus 9. All right, so we have everything inside of here. That's to verify 2x squared plus x minus 3. I'd have that there. Let me write the squared a little better than that. And we have 4x to the power 4 minus 8x cubed minus 17x squared plus 12x plus 9. So it's important to make sure you write down the correct thing, right? So just glimpse and make sure. Just go it over quickly because you don't want to do the entire question and you wrote down something incorrectly. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take this term and divide it by this term here. So we have 4x to the power 4 divided by 2x squared, and that is 2x squared. Right, so we're taking the 2x squared and we're putting it on top here. This 2x squared must be multiplied by each term here. 2x squared multiplied by each term here. So when you're multiplying two same signs, it's a positive. 2 times 2 is 4. X squared by x squared is x to the power 4. Right? When you do that, you realize you have the same terms. Right? So that is why we did all of this. So we get the same term here. Continuing, when you're multiplying two same signs, it's a positive. 2x squared times x is 2x cubed. Nice, continuing. Multiplying different signs, because remember it has a plus in front of the 2, all right? It's understood. Right, it's understood, so you don't have to write it. So 2x squared times, when you're multiplying different signs, is a negative. 2x squared times 3 is 6x squared. When you finish with that, you draw your line. Right, to draw your line, let's draw that line a little better than that. And the minus, so you always minus. So you draw a line, you always minus. You realize we have these two same terms, so this will cancel out with this. We have same terms here, x cubed, so negative 8 minus positive 2. All right, that is equal to negative 10. And we put back the x cubed. All right, so let me just show you. Negative 8 minus positive 2, right? We just, once we have the same term, we focus on the numbers. When you're multiplying different signs, it will be minus. Negative 8 minus 2 is negative 10. That's how I got this negative 10 here. Or you can simply put it in your calculator. All right. We have now negative 17 minus negative 6. So negative 17 minus negative 6. So here we have negative 11, we put back the x squared, right? So negative 17 minus negative 6, if I just want to elaborate, when you're multiplying same signs, is positive. Negative 17 plus 6 is equal to negative 11, right? Just an FYI. All right, so the same thing we did here initially, well, before we do that, we have 3 terms here, so we need to have 3 terms below here. So I'm going to bring down, this positive 12 plus 12x. I bring down the plus 12x, so I have 3 terms below here, and I have 3 terms here. So I'm going to do something similar, the same thing. So initially I took 4x to the power 4 and divided by this first term. So I'm going to do the same steps, but just with these terms here. So I'm going to take this negative 10x cubed and divide it by 2x squared. And I will get negative 5x. So on top here, I have negative 5. Write out a little better than that. All right, negative 5x. All right, trying to write as best as possible. Continuing, take a negative 5x and multiply by each term. So when you're multiplying 2 different signs, it's a negative. 5x times 2x squared is 10x cubed. So we see we have the same terms here, right? So we're on the right track. When you're multiplying 2 different signs, it's a negative. 5x multiplied by x is 5x squared. Continuing, you're multiplying 2 same signs in this case, it's a positive. 5x times 3 is 15x. Right. So you put your line, put your minus sign. Now, same terms here is subtracting, it will cancel out. All right, it will cancel out. So once you have the same term, negative 10 minus negative 10, that's 0. So that's canceled out one time. Now you have negative 11 minus negative 5. So you could use the calculator. Negative 11 minus negative 5. That is negative 6. Put back the x squared. We have 12 minus 15, or 12 minus positive 15. So 12 minus 15, that is equal to negative 3x. All right, and then we bring down. All right, let me draw that line a little better than that. All right, we bring down plus 9. So we have our 3 terms, and we're good to go. So we're going to do over the same thing. So we take in negative 6x squared divided by 2x squared, and that is negative 3. So that negative 3 comes up here. Negative 3 multiplied by 2x squared. Right, when you're multiplying different signs, is a minus. 3 times 2x squared is 6x squared. See, we have the same terms. Multiplying different sign is a minus. 3 times x is 3x. Multiplying same signs is positive. 3 by 3 is 9. So we draw a line, put a minus sign. So we see we have same terms here. So negative 6 minus negative 6, that will cancel out. We have the same terms here. So once you have the same letters, you watch your numbers. Negative 3 minus negative 3, this will cancel out. Now we have the same numbers here as well. Okay, 9 minus 9, that will cancel out. Your remainder is 0. Not all cases your remainder will be 0. Your remainder could be 2x plus 1. Remainder could be just a number 5 or something like that. But for this question, the remainder is 0. All right. So We are not finished yet because remember, we have to find the quotient and the remainder. So we know the remainder is 0, right? So let's deal with the quotient now. So instead of writing it like this, I wrote it like this here. So this, instead of put the division symbol, I put the vinculum line over 2x squared plus x minus 3. And that is equal to, all right, that is equal to, you put this first, 2x squared plus 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. Plus 0, which is the remainder, divided by this expression here, 2x squared. Let me just write it a little differently. Right. 0 divided by 2x squared plus x minus 3. So just to repeat that, right? This divided by that, that's what's written here, is equal to the answer on top here, plus 0 divided by this expression out of here. All right, that's the long division rule. Continuing. So to continue, because remember, this is the quotient. This is the quotient. All right, this is the quotient here. The quotient, this divided by that is equal to this. We can note that the remainder is equal to 0. So we have that. If we want to continue, let me use another color here. So this is part 2. We can say this is part 1. So for part 2, we need to factorize completely. Factorize completely. So if you notice, we want to find out what is this expression here. We need to find out what is this expression here equal to. So we need to factorize that completely. So from here, right, because they said hence, so from here we are going to continue. I tell students, okay, we need to get rid of the denominator. Getting rid of the denominator simply means we're multiplying everything by what we see in below here, right? So we're multiplying everything by that. So we have, like we do in this, 2x squared plus x minus 3. We need to multiply by 2x squared plus x minus 3. And we need to multiply by 2x squared plus x minus 3. So everything, right, we need to deal with that here because we want to get rid of this denominator. And since the equal sign, whatever I do to this side, I have to do to this side and this side as well. So this will cancel out. I'll get rid of that. And we need to deal with this side as well, simplify it. So let me just go back. And that was just an illustration. I'll write it down better now. So we have 4x to the power 4 All right, so let me state something. So I multiply this side by the denominator. So we have this going on here. I multiply this by, because of the equal sign, I need to multiply this by everything. So across the equal sign as well. So we have this initial term here and we have what we multiply it by. Now 0 times this is 0. So that is why I put plus 0. So I just put it to illustrate, but I don't encourage writing it. 0 times anything is 0, so we just don't write anything because it's 0. All right. Another thing I want to point out is I put this 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 in a bracket. If I didn't put it in a bracket, it would read differently. So if this was not in a bracket, we would have said, okay, 2x squared minus 5x minus 3, open brackets, 2x squared plus x minus 3. This means only the 3, this means only the negative 3 is multiplied by this term, which is incorrect, all right? The bracket means we need to take each term inside of here and multiply by each term inside of here. So you must put your brackets, right? You must put your brackets. So continuing. All right, so this will cancel out with that. All right, so I'm just going to write down this expression here. All right, 4x to the power 4. All right, so this here is equal to that. Now, remember the question said factorize completely. So initially I told you all that we need to make sure that this can factorize and this can factorize. If this cannot be factorized, or if this can't be factorized and if this cannot be factorized, then this here would be your answer. But we need to make sure it cannot be factorized. So let's deal with that now. So I'm going to deal with this one first. So I have 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. So this is a quadratic expression and we have to factorize that. So there are a number of ways how you can factorize a quadratic expression, right? I'll just show you how I do it. I take 2 multiplied by 3, I ignore the signs. It's equal to 6. I find the LCM of 6. All right. And then I need 2 numbers. When I add or subtract, I get -5. So this is when the signs come into play. Initially, I don't consider the signs. I just focus on the numbers. 2 times 3 is 6. LCM. And I need 2 numbers here that will give you, when you add or subtract, you get the coefficient of x, or the number in front of x, which is -5. So 2 3s are 6. 1. So I know -6 plus 1 equals -5. -6 plus 1 equals -5. All right. But there are some questions where you get 2 set of numbers that will give you the coefficient of x, which is the number in front of x, which is -5. And let me show you that one time. So another set of numbers, if I can rewrite this because I want to show you something. And I always stop at 1 into 1, 1. That's important. I can say, okay, 2 and 3 times 1 is 3. And I know that -2 minus 3 is equal to -5, right? So one of these set of numbers will not work. It's either this will work or this will work, all right? So let's figure it out. So we continuing. So we're saying, okay, I'm going to use this term here and let's see if it works. Now, not all questions we will get 2 set of numbers, but there are very few questions you get 2 set of numbers that will give you the coefficient of x. So we have 2x squared minus 6x minus plus 1x, or x minus 3. All right, so let me just verify. So this is how I explain it. Highest number that could go into 2 and 6 without leaving a remainder is 2. The lowest x power between x squared and x is x. All right, so I have 2x here, open brackets. 2 into 2 is 1. X into x squared is x. When you divide in different signs, it's a minus. 2 into 6 is 3. Right? X into x, it will cancel out. You get 0. Well, you will get 1. X to the power 0 is 1. Laws of indices, close bracket. So that's this part here. Whatever sign we have here, we write it back. The highest number that could go into 1 and 3 without leaving a remainder is 1. No x in common, so you open brackets. When you divide in same signs, it's a positive, so it's understood being positive here. Your 1 into 1 is 1. 1 is understood as well. You write back your x. When you divide in different signs, it's a negative. 1 into 3 is 3, close brackets. Now, since we have same terms inside here and inside here, we know we are correct. So from that, you write down x minus 3, and I group these two terms, 2x plus 1. Right, so we know that this will work out because we have the same terms inside of here. So let me show you why this will not work out quickly. All right, let me show you why. I think that is extremely important. So if we have 2x squared minus 2x minus 3, x minus 3. So instead of writing negative 5x, I wrote negative 2x minus 3x, right? Now I'm going to factorize. All right. So because we have two different terms here, all right, because we have two different terms here, we have x minus 1 and we have x plus 1. When we factorize it, that's wrong, right? We know that this set of numbers will not work, all right, for this question. So we know that this will be wrong. Just to reiterate what I did, let me show you. If I deal with this side first, the highest number that could go into 2 and 2 without leaving a remainder is 2. The lowest x power is x, open bracket. 2 into 2 is 1. X into x squared is x. When you divide in two different signs, it's a minus. 2 into 2 is 1. X into x is 1. So close brackets, you have x minus 1. Whatever sign we have here, we put it back. Highest number that could go into 3 and 3 without leaving a remainder is 3. No x in common, so you open brackets. When you divide in two, same sign is positive, understood. 3 into 3 is 1, go back the x. When you divide in two, same sign is positive. 3 into 3 is 1. So we realize that this term and this term is different, so that cannot work. So let's assume you did this and you put this set of numbers first, and it doesn't work out, just go back in and get the right set of numbers. All right, you didn't do anything wrong per se, you just chose the wrong set of numbers. With experience, you could look in your mind and mentally work it out and say, all right, this one will work out rather than this. All right, so let me erase all of that. And let's deal with the other one, which is this quadratic expression here. So we have 2x squared plus x minus 3. With a factorize, 2 times 3 is 6. LCM of 6, 2 into 6, 3. Let me write over this a little bit. All right, two set of numbers where in this case the coefficient is positive 1. So 2 and 3. So if I put negative 2 plus 3, I know that is equal to positive 1. So here I will have right, I'm gonna write this 3 a little better than that. All right, so it doesn't matter if you put negative 2 plus 3 or you put 3x minus 2x. It doesn't matter the order. If you put negative 2 plus 3, negative 2x plus 3x, or you write it plus 3x minus 2x, you should get the same answer. Continuing. highest number that could go into 2 and 2 without leaving a remainder is 2. Lowest x power is x. 2 into 2 is 1. X into x squared is 1. When you divide in different signs, it's a minus. 2 into 2 is 1. X into x is 1. Whatever sign I have here, I write it back. Highest number that could go into 3 and 3 without leaving a remainder is 3. No x in common, open bracket. 3 into 3 is 1, right? And I put back the x minus, when you divide different signs, is minus. 3 into 3 is 1, close bracket. So realize we have the same set of terms here and here. So we write it back. We have x minus 1. It doesn't matter if you have x minus 1 or you have 1x minus 1, 1x equals x. And I group these two. So we have 2x plus 3. Right. So here we see in that we found out what the answer is for this, which is this here. And we know what the answer is for this, which is this here. So I'm just going to rewrite everything here. The question is just long. I'm going to rewrite everything here, and I'm putting the completed factorization expression. So let's deal with that. So I have 4x to the power 4 and that is equal to this here is equal to this. So I'm putting x minus 3, 2x plus 1, and this here is equal to this. So I'm putting x minus 1, 2x plus 3. Let me write this a little better than that. All right. So that's the answer for part 2. The question is just long. It's not difficult at all once you follow the steps. All right. So here's the long division. All right. Here's the quotient. Here's the start of simplifying it to get the factorization part. You have to factorize the quadratic here, and this here is your answer. So that's it for dividing a polynomial by a polynomial.